Hey guys, it's me, Aego here. Hi. Hello. I've heard so many people say, are those cushions good? Really good? How good? So I brought 3 cushions that are reputed to be hot because I wanted to know what the hell they were. So I'm gonna do an honest review. Toocoolforschool's Fixing Nude Cushion. This is a cushion that was co-developed with beauty YouTuber Liu J with a total of 4 shades, and it became a huge issue. The cushion design is somehow soft and fluffy, and personally, I feel that the material of this cushion case would get dirty quickly. The puff is a water drop shaped puff that seems to have a very soft and fluffy feel. It's said that the soft air cell can create a semi-matte skin expression without dryness by retaining moisture, and the wet ruby cell fabric puff allows for a dense touch along the skin texture. The texture of the cushion was very moist and soft and released a lot of content. When applied with my fingers on the back of my hand, it applies moistly, but when spread out quickly, it fixes and feels like a film is covered over the skin. Personally, I felt like I had to do a really good skincare before applying it because it seemed to have a smooth matte finish rather than a soft one. Toocoolforschool's Fixing Nude Cushion, which consists of a total of 4 shades, is recommended from bright number 13 to natural number 23. Overall, the shades looked natural, so I thought it was okay, but on my arm, which is number 23, the bright shades were especially expressed in pink and white. And normally when applying a cushion, we just tap and apply it, but this cushion is not applied like this. It's said that it's better to put an appropriate amount of the cushion on the puff, apply it on both cheeks, chin, and forehead with short touches, as if pushing and dabbing. This cushion is said to meticulously cover pores and bumps, making the skin texture smooth and soft as if were blurred. Actually, when I applied it on my face, it adhered very thinly and seemingly made the skin texture itself look smooth. In the case of coverage, it wasn't very high and the shade was a little dark, so personally, it was a bit disappointing. In fact, I read some reviews before getting this cushion on my hand, but I was wondering if it was really worse than I thought because there were some people saying that it wasn't that good. When I received it and tried using it, I liked how it adhered well and made my skin beautiful. I really like the fact that it filled in between the pores and applied without sticking. Peripera Smooth Fit Cover Cushion. This is a vegan cushion that expresses the skin neatly as if there's a filter over it, and it comes in a total of 3 shades. It's designed in navy blue and it looks like a glass bead, and when looking at the top of the case, it feels like a wave. The puff looks a bit unique. It's a specially designed fitted puff for the mood cushion considering the curves of the skin. It's said that the upper part of the puff can be used on the narrow areas such as the side of the nose and around the mouth, and the lower part of the puff can be used around the curved eyes. When I press the cushion firmly, it feels moist and fluffy, but it also feels a bit hard. When I applied it on the back of my hand with my finger, it felt very moist and adhered to the skin very well. Being a semi-matte cushion, I especially like how it didn't leave my skin feeling dry. If the Vegan Glow cushion I introduced in the Come Glosser line was a glossy, moist cushion, the Move Fit Cover cushion is a cushion with a semi-matte finish, so if you like a semi-matte finish cushion, I recommend this one. When I applied it on my arm, it felt like the 3 shades were divided into pink, white, and skin tone rather than natural. Personally, I thought there were a bit clear and bright shades. The formulation itself is moist, so I felt a cooling sensation throughout the application, and the moist application feels good on the skin. Maybe because the shades is brighter than Toocoolforschool's, it seemed to have a more natural feel and the coverage was similar. If you need a little more coverage, you can apply it in layers. It feels very cool and moist, which made me question, is it really semi-matte? But it feels moist on the inside and semi-matte on the outside. And personally, it was better to fill in the gaps between the pores by sweeping rather than tapping. I like the semi-matte finish that's moist on the inside and smooth on the outside since it seemed to make the skin look really pretty. fwee Cushion Suede. With a total of 4 shades, people around me have been telling me that this cushion is so good. This is a cushion that I received a lot of questions about. The case comes designed with a neat and cute color, but it seemed to feel cuter since it's a round design. The puff is a water drop shaped puff that contains castor seed oil so that even matte formulations can be applied softly and easily, giving a more perfect skin expression. It felt really soft. When I pressed the cushion, it feels soft, so I thought I should use it while adjusting the amount. When I applied it on the back of my hand with my finger, it was like the moistest cushion I've ever seen. It has a semi-matte finish, but I felt a lot of moisture. The 4 shades had a different color feel when first applied and after they were spread. Maybe because the powder contained in this cushion, when I first applied it, I thought, isn't it too bright? But as I spread it on, it seemed to change to a shade that matched my skin tone. When I applied it on my face, it applied moistly, but for some reason, I felt that the puff absorbed a lot of the contents of the cushion. It seemed to have a similar level of coverage to Toocoolforschool's and Peripera, but for some reason, the expression of the texture was a bit disappointing. It was not a smooth and clean skin texture and seemed to get between my wrinkles. I tend to have a lot of downy hair on my face, days and I often trim my hair with laser, but maybe it's because I sometimes tidy up my cheeks, so the skin expression on my cheeks and forehead was different. The forehead is very smooth and beautifully expressed, but the cheeks felt like they were very thick and cakey. So personally, I do not recommend it to those who use it with hair or who have dry skin with a lot of tough hair. And maybe because the puff absorbs the contents of the cushion, it didn't seem to make much of a difference even if I layered it when I needed more coverage. And it seems better applied by tapping it on rather than sweeping it on while applying. When I applied it while sweeping, it pushes away. And like that, I showed you some cushions that are hot these days in Korea. Personally, I feel that all these cushions are good, so I'm gonna compare them now. Personally, in terms of formulation, it was moist in the order of fwee, Peripera, Toocoolforschool. In the order of fast fixing was Toocoolforschool, Peripera, fwee. Toocoolforschool has a smooth matte finish, Peripera and fwee have a semi-matte finish. When applying on the same shade, personally, it seems darker in order of Toocoolforschool, Peripera, fwee. Toocoolforschool seems like a shade that would go well with number 24 rather than number 23. Peripera seemed a bit reddish and fwee seemed bright with a neutral tone. In terms of coverage, Toocoolforschool, Peripera, and fwee all seem to have similar coverage. Personally, in the case of skin texture expression, the expression of skin texture was beautiful in the order of Toocoolforschool, Peripera, fwee. I also did a waterproof test by spraying water on it. Seeing all the water droplets on it, they seem to be waterproof, so I thought they'd be good as summer cushions. As for smearing, actually it's not that much, but I think there were enough to say that there were barely any. Upon observing my skin after applying on the cushion over the same period of time, I can see that the Toocoolforschool cushion had the most oil among the 3 cushions. In the case of Toocoolforschool and Peripera, there didn't seem to be any creases on the sides of my nose, but there seemed to be some wrinkle creases around the eyes. In the case of fwee, I could see that it had a lot of oil, probably because it had a soft finish. Overall, they seemed to stay pretty for a long time, so it seemed good to use in the summer if I cleaned up the developed oil with powder. In terms of fragrance, Peripera, fwee, Toocoolforschool, the scent was strong. Like this, I brought cushions that are hot these days and did a brief comparison with an introduction. Which cushion did you guys like the most? Let me know in the comments. So my video is still here. Thank you for watching my video today. Don't forget to subscribe, press the like buttons, and please leave some comments for me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!